So you're right.
There you are. There you are. Looking very, very Dylan.
I'm trying to, my breath. So how's things?
Not bad, not bad. You're saying you're still at the hotel?
Yeah, we're camping here. We're camping here for a month.
For a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations for on Saturday. You lost by 3. It could have been 17-0.
Yeah, no. Once we went down to 10 men, it were a nightmare. It were a nightmare.
Yeah, I watched the game. Was cheering you on from Nairobi, man.
But no, it was just, look. I mean, if you don't do as you're told, you know what it's like with footballers. You know that they want to do their own thing. I'm trying to get it very light. I'm trying to get light for you.
Trying to get what?
I'm trying to make it. Oh, that's better.
Ah, that's better. That's better. Cool. Looking brilliant. Looking very Dylan.
So I'm still the same, pal. I'm just.
Is that a flag? Is that a flag on your waist? Is that a flag on your waist?
Is that a what?
A flag? And it looks like an Irish flag or something.
No, it's.
A Harlequin kit. That's Barocca kit.
Sponsor. Oh, it's a Barocca kit. Yeah. Do you want me to take it off?
No worries, no worries. You okay?
I am, pal. I am. Well, I was so confident on Saturday because of the things we'd done in training. We looked really, really good, and then you know I watched the game Saturday night, and the amount of times we gave the ball away was we basically just killed ourselves. Every time we lost the ball, we lost the ball. They went on a counter attack, and we worked against that.
Dylan, don't worry. It's not Gor Mahia you're coaching. You're coaching Barocca. Okay, so don't cry.
Hey, I saw Sally Bolo's fight the other day.
and you must have been cheering on the other guys who are carrying her out of the room.
Go on, hit her. knock her out.
I knew you were enjoying every bit of that.
Well, I just look, I've got no ill will against anybody, but when when me and Willis had that altercation at Bandari.
Yes.
That happens in football. Especially when I'm right, and somebody, tries to headbutt, your natural reaction is to, and I got brought into disciplinary meeting, and Sally Bolo, whatever she was on that committee, was sat there, and absolutely lambasted me, and I just thought, excuse me, what are you saying, and who are you? And I just, without being given, without being telling them, the facts, she'd already, was judge, jury, and I mean, she shouldn't have been there,
Yeah, I get you, Dylan. I know you can talk forever about you and Sally Ball. You must be celebrating she's no longer at the club now, so well done for you. I think you influenced the elections, I think.
Look, I mean, we were talking. I was talking to Bobby Williamson today, because he broke his elbow. And I was saying, I said, the one good thing about Gor Mahia, the chairman, he was very respectful, and he let you do your job.
Sorry, Dylan. There's some music in the background, I think.
Yeah.
Very Dylan. Very Dylan.
So yeah, we were talking. My boy said, "Oh, Bobby loved working for him as well." He said Frank Nuttall was a problem because he was always fighting with Ambrose. He said, but I said, look, he left me on my own. He left me on my own.
Yeah.
And me from that. Well, you know me. I mean, I didn't just do my job as a coach. I did my job.
Dylan, on that account, I'd like to pose to you a question. The one question that I've always, what do you remember the most when you recollect back at your time at the greatest club in East Africa? What the most memorable? I'm talking about your time at Simba.
My time at Simba.
Got you. Yeah.
If Simba would have let me do my job like Ambrose did, you know, Simba would have been probably CAF champions by now. You know, I was given a task at Simba. Now you got to imagine, you know, in 2000, on 2015 when I went, you know,
yes.
the squad I inherited, you know, was very poor. The players were good. Don't get me wrong, the players were very good. But the squad I inherited to what they've got, you know, today, what they've had over the last 3 years, you know, I had a squad that I actually got to play, you know, and
that's when you had Dennis Nkuma at Simba. Do you remember the short Ugandan Dennis Nkuma?
No, we didn't. He wasn't there.
No, not in 2015. Okay.
You know, and I mean, I had good players. I had honest players, and you know, my job was to win the league, which was fine. And my job was to beat Yanga. You know, it didn't matter about any other game, but just to beat Yanga and win the league. So, you know, I was confident that, you know, with the brand of football I like to play and the training that we did, you know, and you know, I knew over the season, I knew that we would win the league. I knew it. I didn't believe it. I knew it. Didn't think of it. I knew it because I knew how good we got that team spirit and that gel at the club. And then obviously we played Yanga. We hammered Yanga, but we lost 2-0. We conceded two sloppy goals, and that's kind of when the problem started, because, you know, they before the game they put you in a hotel. It's fantastic, Tom. Put you in one of the best hotels down on Ocean Beach, or whatever it's called.
Is it the one at Seacliff or something?
Yeah, it's Seacliff. So
Seacliff,
now I'm called into a meeting. Now I'm called into a meeting with all the board members. You know, and I was warned what was going to happen, and I had malaria. You know, so I didn't attend the meeting. You know, and basically all that meeting was to tell me who to play, who not to play. You know, I knew that was going to happen, but I didn't go because I was absolutely wiped out with malaria. I was, you know, when I got to the hotel, I didn't even eat that night, and I went to my bed, and I just didn't get up till the next day, and I was on the bench the next day. I felt shocking, but then it all went. It all started to go. You know, there were always questions from 6, 7, 8 board members. You know, of why, and just
of course headed by the club spokesman. You know, Haji Manara.
Is that what you call him?
You know,
what do we call him?
Yeah.
You know, so when it came, it was always. I mean, leave me alone and let me do my job. You know, and I'll do you that job. You know, but you know, you know as well, in Africa, there's a lot of pressure from other things. And I mean, it's all over Africa. It's not just Kenya, Tanzania, it's South Africa, and it's probably elsewhere as well. From what I've heard in Rwanda, in Uganda, in Equatorial Guinea, there's always that, you know, interference where they just don't let you do your job.
Dylan, to be fair, there's pressure everywhere. It's a game of football, and people want results. I mean, that's given everywhere in the world.
It is, but you know, when nobody in the UK tells no chairman, no board member, no affiliate at a football club who doesn't wear a pair of football boots, or who's ever kicked a football, will say to you, "Oh, I want you to play him," or "Why are you playing him?" or "Why don't you play him?" You know, there's a difference, Tom. And Ambrose never did. Ambrose never did. He never told me who to play, who not to play. The only person I spoke to was Zico and Willis, and the team manager. The team manager,
and Sally,
would,
Sally.
No, Sally was never. Sally was never. When I first arrived, I actually gone all right. I thought she was all right, but then there's a thing in life where, if you got the people have too many faces, more faces than Big Ben. So you understand. You learn from it. You understand why they get close to you is because they want to kill you.
Yeah.
And I've had it. I've had it with football coaches. With assistants. They're not happy that you've got the job. They're not happy that Malungu or Mzungu's in your job. They want the job. I'm not here to make me look good. I'm here to help the club.
That explains clearly why you were really determined to win the game against Simba when Gor Mahia played Simba in Nakuru. You added extra determination to win that game by all means. Does that explain so?
100%. I felt I had the support of a couple of. I think I had the support of one great members. Look, it happens in football. I got fired. Well, I didn't get fired. We mutually agreed to leave, but they asked me to leave. And I wanted to leave anyway because we played Mapinduzi Cup, which is a tournament in Zanzibar, which is it's a really good tournament, but you actually play 5 games in 6 days, and then you've got to play a final. And we were second in the league, and I knew that I needed my players to be ready for the restart of the second part of the season. That's when we were going to become stronger because of the way we trained and the way we lived and what we ate and how we lived. And then I refused to play my best team. I refused to play the main team. I played my reserves. I played the young boys, and we got beaten in the semi-final.
Because you prioritized the league over Mapinduzi Cup. That's right?
Yeah, the Mapinduzi Cup was a great tournament, well arranged, well organised, well supported. But my focus, my job was to win the league, win the cup. That was my job, not win Mapinduzi Cup. And then, Haji Manara said to me the day before we played the semi-final. He said to me, and I'll never forget it. He said, he come into my room and says, "Coach, I've never seen such an exciting brand of football played at Simba. You're the best coach we've ever brought here. We know
that's what he told
you. This is what he told me. He told me the day before we played the semi-final game, and I felt really happy, felt really pleased with that. Then in the semi-final, we lost to a freak goal. We hammered, I can't remember who we played, but we hammered them. The ball was passed back to the goalkeeper. He went to pick it down. It on the AstroTurf pitch, it was little pebbles everywhere. It hit a stone, it bobbled, it went over the keeper, and they won the game 1-0. Not a problem, Tom. I'm ready. I'm happy. We've got out what we had to get out of it. We didn't make the final. We'd have liked to have won the final. But it wasn't what I was told. My mandate wasn't to win Mapinduzi Cup. When I arrived, I didn't know what Mapinduzi. So, unfortunately, and then I got a phone call that night telling me there's a board meeting back in Tanzania. So I got the board back in Tanzania the next morning, and I was told I was the worst coach. This was the worst team. They were the worst players. I was absolutely lambasted by everybody in that room. And
was that hard to speak to, or who was saying that? Who was saying that?
I can't remember that. Well, I know two of them went to jail.
Okay.
No. He sat there quiet as a mouse. He never said a word. He didn't. He just sat there. He never said a word. And I was waiting, and I just kept looking at him because how can the night before the most exciting brand of football, the national coach actually said he's never seen that play and that enthusiasm, that energy, and that because to my the national team. And
Dylan, I think your connection is terrible in the hotel. It's terrible.
It can't be terrible.
It is terrible. Are you in the presidential suite?
No, man, I wish I fucking were.
Tell them to upgrade you.
Nah, listen, I'm just like one of the players. I'm just like one of the players, you know. What's good
okay.
enough for them?
Enough about Simba. Enough about Simba. I mean, to be honest, Dylan, people miss you on the streets of Kenya. People miss you on the streets of Nairobi. The kind of warmth you impacted here was just out of this world. I mean, Gor Mahia was not just being coached by, was not just being managed by a coach. It was being managed by a fan of the club. Do you still have our tattoos on your foot?
Of course I do. They're there for life. They're there forever.
Can you see it? Oh yeah. How many are there? That's one.
Two. No, there's only.
Where's
it's got the date. It's got the date. No, it's got the one badge, but it's got the 2 dates. So it's got 2019.
Talk to us a bit about your tattoos. How did you come about having the tattoos on your foot?
Well, obviously, I had the one from Kilmarnock in '97, you know, and that again, that was a story and a half because I was drunk. I didn't know I was having it done, you know. I never wanted a tattoo, Tom. I never wanted a tattoo. And now I'm covered in them. I've got one for my mum, which I'm so happy that I got that one for my mum.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, when I found it very good, and I just thought I was so proud of winning that KPL. Remember, I actually turned the job down when Bobby Williamson left. Bobby offered me the job when I was in Vietnam, and I said to
Bobby left the club in 2014. Towards the end of 2014, and Frank Notal came in.
Well,
and
Bobby offered me the job first. He called me. I was in Vietnam, but I was under contract, you know, yeah. and the club refused to let me speak to Kenya to Ambrose, right? So there's, you know, there's nothing I could do there, you know. And Bobby says, "Oh, Retty." And when I turned it down, then obviously Bobby knows Frank, and he called Frank, and then Frank took the job and did a very, very good job as well, you know, unbeaten for the season, which was fantastic, you know. And then I'd actually left Vietnam because they offered me a contract, but they didn't offer me what they promised. And if somebody promises you something and it's in writing, and then they turn around and say, and it was a transitional phase for the club anyway. It was a change of owner. So I asked them if I could be released, and I went to Burton Albion. I went to Burton Albion as under 18s coach with the youth academy.
Where? Which team?
Burton Albion.
Oh, okay.
England.
Okay.
So and the head coach was Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. You know, so, and I was in charge of the under 18s, and then before what I was really no it wasn't. Sorry, I tell a lie. Sorry, I tell a lie. It was Chesterfield. I was at Chesterfield.
Chesterfield. You know, which year is this?
No. Hang on, let me finish. I've got my date. I'm going. Talking to you. You're drinking whiskey, and I can't have a drink. There's no alcohol for sale here. That's shocking. Hey, don't be cheersing me now. I left Vietnam, and I went to Burton Albion for a year. No, 10 months. Then I went to
that's
Simba.
2015.
Then I went to Simba. I came back from Simba, and I then went to Chesterfield Academy, where I did the under 18s.
Okay.
And when I was at Chesterfield Academy, everything was
20 now.
Yeah, 2016, 2017, and when I got the phone call from Coach Edie, the goalkeeper coach.
The goalkeeper coach.
Yeah, Coach Edie called me. He said, "Listen, can you Gor Mahia want you to go there? Will you go?" will you speak to the chairman? So the chairman called me on the Thursday, and I agreed straight away. I wasn't going to turn it down again. The sticking problem was that I had to give a month's notice to the club as part of my contract. But I said to the coach, I said to the head of the academy, listen, I've got to go. If I don't go, you're not going to get anything from me, because, you know, that's where I want to be. But they were absolutely fantastic, you know, and they said, yeah, give us a week.
Let me help you there. Let me help you there. Then you come to Kenya, and your first game is against Everton in Tanzania.
Yes.
Is that right? Good. So that's when we meet at the airport, and I tell you, my name is Tombwana, and immediately you block me on Twitter. Booyah! Yeah.
There's so many fake Tombwanas everywhere, you know. The Tombwana I blocked, he had a white picture. I thought it was Zungu, so I thought I'm going to block it. No, we actually, when you do your football licenses, you got to do your CPD, coach progression development, and I went to a media CPD where they were saying about, you know, your Twitter account, your Hotmail account, your social media, and when I went into this meet day,
sorry, Dylan, I just lost you there. What did you say about social media accounts?
Well, my social media was always for my mum. You know, if my mum wanted to know what was happening in my life, she could go onto my Facebook, she could go onto my Twitter, and she could just check up, so she knew I was all right. I didn't have to speak to her every day. That was my link to my mum.
So is that why you were always blocking toxic people? You didn't want that kind of influence in your mom?
I didn't want my mum to see that people were upsetting me. Anybody that upset me upset my mum, and I couldn't afford that.
Sorry, mom. I upset your son. I'm really sorry.
She's listening to you upstairs.
Yes, definitely. She loves you, I know.
And that's when I came to. Within 3 days, I flew over to Kenya. Jalawi picked me up. I got on really, really well with him that first day, and then it just the relationship from day one was like straight into the job.
On that point, I have a question on that point. So you come to Kenya, Jalawi, the team manager, picks you at the airport, and the first assignment that is on your plate is to play Everton. What did you think? I mean, what club is this? A Kenyan club who is now playing Everton on Everton's first visit to Africa. They're playing Gor Mahia, and Wayne Rooney is at the game. Take me through the thoughts. What were you thinking at that point?
Oh my God! I've got to get a result against Everton. Jalawi will be taking me back to the airport, and I'll be back to England. I mean, how's that to be Everton, an EPL club? But it was a challenge, and it was a good way of me meeting the players, because I didn't know anybody. You know, I'd done my research, as I do on the internet, but you don't get much information of how they play, what the character's like, what the personality is like. And you know, I decided from arriving in Tanzania, that, you know, the players, everybody would get a run out against Everton, because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity that would never come around. And 2 years later, it came around again. But at the time, I made the right decision. I gave everybody but 2 players the opportunity to play. And it didn't sit well. It didn't sit well with me, and obviously later on when we went back to England.
Just on that question, Dylan. Ordinarily, when a coach gets to face Everton, it would be like, it's a testimonial match. Let everybody play. But you were at in a whole different circumstance. It's your first game. Is it this big club? Did you really want to win the game, or just wanted the boys to have an experience?
I wanted to win the game. Is that better? Is that better that way?
That's yeah. Now it's looking more like Dylan.
Sorry. No, I wanted to win the game. I wanted to show. Look, nobody. I'm not as respected. I'm trying to get a good. Is the light all right?
No, the headroom. Just give me some more headroom. I can't get your Tintin hair.
Tintin hair. No.
Yeah. Have you ever been told you have Tintin kind of head?
I've always been told I've got Tintin kind of hair.
Yeah. Your WhatsApp profile photo is definitely Tintin. You're a smaller brother of Tintin.
But yeah, no, I definitely wanted to win the game, but
yeah.
You're playing Everton with strangers. You know, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know who. Like I say, it's all about character. It's all about personality. You know, and we did a training session the night before the game, and I thought, yeah, these boys can play. These boys are going to play quick. And you know, it was I think it was pre-season for Everton, so they weren't at, you know, they weren't going to be at full capacity of playing at the highest level, but we knew that they had, for their reputation, they had to make sure that they didn't lose. You know, first half it was 1-1. I mean, you know, Rooney's goal, typical Wayne Rooney. Some can say that Bonnie, the goalkeeper, was too far off his line, but at the end of the day, you know, you don't expect to win the goal like that. Well, you do expect.
Did you celebrate the goal, the Wayne Rooney goal? Oh, you were trying to be professional. I am a coach.
Oh, only if he was wearing his Red United shirt on, definitely, but not a blue ever. So yeah, so you know, and then the second half, I changed the team. The second half because I say, let me ask you a question, Tom. You were a player, and you've got Wayne Rooney on the field, and you've got Everton players on the field, and you're sat on the bench, and you know you want to get on. How would you feel if I say, "Nah, Tom, sit there, don't get on. You're not going on now." How would you feel as a player? What was your first?
I would feel terrible.
Coach.
Yeah, it's not every day Wayne Rooney is going to come to Africa, and it's not every day I'm going to find myself in the match day squad against Wayne Rooney. So I want to get on the pitch. I want to play.
Exactly. So that I made that decision, and we lost 2-1. But everything ticked the box as far as I was concerned.
When Jacques Tuyisenge equalized just before halftime, did it get in your head like, oh, we may win this game?
Yeah, obviously. The problem was, Tom, though, you know, you've got to, you know, you've got Ronald Koeman, World Cup winner, World Cup captain. You've got Dylan Mazungu Kerr next door.
An unknown boy.
Unknown boy that actually, you know, and many people will not believe or will not know this, has got so much respect from the people that I'm associated with professionally. You know, even though all my success has been in Asia and Africa. And after the game,
no, Dylan, all your successes have been in Kenya at Gor Mahia.
Yeah. Well, you
can't say you've been successful at Simba.
Oh no. I've always been successful where I've been, but I've won things at Gor Mahia.
Yeah, show me your foot. I show you your successes.
But after the game, I took all the players into the Everton dressing room. You know, because everyone wanted to speak to Wayne Rooney. You know, but you know, there's that pleasure knowing that, you know, Gor Mahia, a Kenyan team, probably with no reputation in Europe, or nobody's ever heard of Gor Mahia in Europe unless you're an avid football fan, and they've actually given Everton a good game, and the Everton people are still speaking to this day about that time in Tanzania. And
I'm not sure even an avid football fan would have known God, because I remember on that week the Daily Mail in the UK called Gor Mahia the little known club in Kenya, going to play Everton in the fishing village of Dar es Salaam.
Yes, that's actually it was, but once they played that, and once people saw it, then Gor Mahia became a name in British football, you know. So and to get, you know, and obviously we'll talk about it later, but the opportunity to go over to Goodison Park, you know, again, that was a dream come true, and
brilliant.
And it makes me really sad that Sport Pacer have been forced to abandon their business and their funding of sport in Kenya, and it was a sad day when they left. Not just for Gor Mahia or
I mean,
AFC.
just to put a wrap to your 2017, because really 2017 you came in halfway, and then I mean, with all the brilliant work you put in and your staff and the players, we won the league, and there's evidence on your right foot, on your left foot. Is it left foot that we have? The left foot that we won the 2017 Kenyan Premier League. Now let's go to 2018. Now, in 2018, I mean, the biggest highlight will have been our journey in CAF Confederations Cup, starting with the Champions League knockout stages. Just to jog your memory, the first game was against the guys from Equatorial Guinea, Leon Vegetarianos.
No, the year before was Esperance, who went on to win it.
No. I'm saying the journey in 2018, the CAF Champions League knockout stages. The first game we played the Equatorial Guineans,
and then it was Esperance.
Yes, so we beat the Vegetarianos here 2-0. We went drew 1-1 in Malabo. Then Esperance came in the second knockout stages. First game in Machakos, 0-0. Do you still have a feeling we should have won that game in Machakos?
4-0. We should have won 4-0.
What happened?
We Jackson Medi Kagere had a, it just wasn't to be their day. The goalkeeper made saves that he didn't even know he was actually making. His reaction to it was just. From the first minute, their goalkeeper went injured after 90 seconds. The goalkeeper laid down with a hamstring, and we knew it was going to be one of those games. Look, Esperance came to Machakos. It was the field wasn't good.
Yeah, it was unplayable for them.
But you look at, the preparation, and this is the annoying thing about people don't understand. And again, I can understand the financial situation of Gor Mahia and clubs all over Africa, all over the world with finances. But we should have gone 2 days before to Machakos, right? But the club decided.
Yeah, I recall it took nearly 7 hours from Nairobi to Machakos.
We'll go the day before, right?
Yeah.
So we'll spend the night, right? And it absolutely peed it down. It rained. Absolutely. And the traffic in Nairobi and all over Kenya, it's a disaster when it isn't raining. So imagine what it was like when it was absolutely teeming it down. And we actually sat in one village. I don't know what it was called. Can't remember now. We sat in this village for 3 hours and we did not move because you couldn't, because everybody was stuck. Everybody was stuck. And we got to the hotel.
Traffic caused by the rain?
We left at 4 o'clock. We were supposed to arrive in Machakos at 6. We arrived at Machakos at 12:30.
In the night?
In the morning. And then we had to eat. The players had not eaten all day, so they had to eat. Then we had to prepare the next game for one of the biggest games of our lives. So maybe if we'd have done it differently, maybe those 4 chances that Mehdi and Jax had would have gone in the goal. The pleasing thing, we didn't concede. And actually, Esperance didn't even cause a threat. They didn't even cause a threat. They were very, very lucky. And that year, they went on to win it.
Exactly. Yeah, because I remember the post-match press conference of the Esperance coach. He said that you specifically poured water onto that grass to deny them a chance to play. Yeah. But if you look at that game, we should have won that game in Machakos. Should have sealed it off there. It was unplayable for the guys from North Africa. And then we go to Tunis. Stade Rades in Tunis, and the nightmare. To be honest, I think we lost that game before we left the airport in JKIA. Wow. Remember Walusimbi being a no-show?
Yeah, we every time we've travelled away, we've always had a problem, with a lot of things, and I'll touch that later on. But again, you do your preparation to win games. You do your preparation, and it was tough. It was going to be tough to go to Tunis and win. You know, if we could have got a draw and got to penalties, I'd have been happy. You know, but we arrived at the hotel, fantastic facilities, fantastic hotel. We trained the night before, great atmosphere, and they had 2 or 3 players that I thought was a danger, and one of them was a midfield player. And I said to Ernst Wendo, I said, listen, don't give him any space, and don't lose the ball to him while we're attacking. Bless you. And what happened? You know, we lost possession. Ernst Wendo wasn't anywhere close to him. They shot, deflection, goal 1-0. Then their head coach was so disrespectful. Their staff on the bench was so disrespectful.
Yeah.
They were inciting our bench to get to incite the crowd to give us problems. And there was in the first half, we've made a great break, and we should have had a free kick. We weren't given to it, but their coach ran out of his box, which is not allowed, ran onto the field to his player, you know, and we're all like, and next minute the crowd are throwing, we're objecting, which is rightly so. The next thing, all the players are getting bottled. They're getting thrown bottles.
I was in the stadium. I was in that stadium in Tunis, and I remember their ball boys deliberately delaying the ball when it goes out. And I remember this scuffle between your goalkeeping coach, Willis, going to get the ball for himself, and he was pushed all over, and he was given a yellow card, I think. I mean, it was just chaotic.
All these bottles were coming in, and they were hitting the dugout. So the players ran into the back, so they're near the police. But the police started whacking the players with the tongs.
I remember that.
Little Bonnie got smacked on the head. A couple of the others got smacked on the back of it. I mean, it was horrendous. And to lose 1-0 to the champions that year, was a great achievement. But you know, had Francisca you know, would have been 1-0 up, and he missed a chance. You know, so
I remember that, and I was going to give you props for that. I mean, having played Wesley Onguso on your left back in place of the missing Walusimbi, then you have a compact game and you lose only 1-0 away in Tunis. I think that was a brilliant game we've ever. I think that's the most. The best game we've ever lost, I think so. I mean, for lack of a better expression, it's a good show that we put there, but we lost the game.
We didn't look out of place. We actually looked, you know, a championship team, you know, a Champions League team. But unfortunately, you know, we didn't take our chances in Machakos, and we missed a couple of chances in Tunis. So we lost graciously. We tried to, even after the game, we tried to speak to their officials. They weren't having any of it. They were just they were very obnoxious, very rude. We were just glad to get back. We got out there straight to the hotel, and we enjoyed the evening, knowing that we'd lost, but we'd given Kenya a wee bit of hope.
Brilliant. I remember coming from Tunisia at the airport. I think we came via Doha, Qatar, and I was telling you the fixtures are out. We are going to the playoffs of the Confederations Cup, and these are the teams we may meet. And you said categorically, I want a team from South Africa, and we got SuperSport United, and we beat them. I think we beat them 2-0 here. No, we beat them 1-0 here. Then went to South Africa and lost 2-1, and we advanced on the away goal.
Yeah, we won on the away goal, and SuperSport they're still telling me that, you know, we were lucky. You know, every time I see the staff at SuperSport, they still can't believe we won. But to go to SuperSport, you know, it's a tough place to go to SuperSport, and you know, having played at that stage 30 odd years ago, you know, I had a wee bit of advantage on knowing the facility and knowing the field, which helped my players, and we had to make sure that we just defended, and countered when we could. And when Kachi scored that winning, when Kachi scored that away goal, I mean, it was just a shame that the whole of Kenya wasn't in South Africa to support. The ones that did turn up were absolutely, and I remember looking up in the stand and seeing, my chairman and all the board members with their fists held high, screaming at the top of their voices. They were so happy, and like I said, we'd qualified, and it's something I'm very, very pleased and very, very proud of the players. It wasn't about me. It was just about the players. We had a great family. We had a good family with problems. The problems, of payment, the problems of salaries, the problems of training facilities. We had problems all over the place, but we stuck together.
In short, you say that's when somebody asks you, how are you? You say, I'm strong in the struggle. So you're struggling, but you're strong. Then from there we qualified to the group stages of Confederation Cup, and that was a first one for Gor Mahia, for Kenya. We had never been in this stage for such a long time, and kudos to you and your staff. We got to the group stages in such a long time. So we had the group with Ryan, Yanga, and Usma from Algeria. Yeah. And what is your analysis when you looked at that kind of grouping? So Gor Mahia, Yanga, Ryan, and Usma before the games.
The Usma one was going to be a challenge because the Algiers are very, very strong. The North African teams are all strong. They're all strong. That's why they're always in the finals. So playing against Usma was a difficult one. Again, when we played in Rwanda, we arrived there. We absolutely, again, we dominated the game. We got his goal. They equalised through our mistake, and then Francis Carter, I would have bet $1 million shilling.
I remember that
miss. Scored that. Any other player, I'm thinking, I couldn't. But Kachi, I thought, I'd have put my house on it. But unfortunately, he missed. And then obviously we came back and we played. I think we played Usma, didn't we?
No. So Ryan 1-1. We came here, played Usma 0-0 in Kasarani.
Yeah, I remember Kasarani had just relayed the turf. Again, it absolutely poured it down. So that killed both teams, but it hurt us more. And again, we just didn't perform in front of goal. We did everything right, but put the ball in the back.
We're playing Usma Wednesday night after the Sunday that we had played Hull City. Yes,
that's correct. And again, that's another experience. That again, all the people that I'm still in contact with, Hull City, they never stop talking about it. Which is good because we made them welcome. They had a good time in Kenya. They loved playing at Kasarani with that crowd. It was just unbelievable. And then we played.
Dean Winder still thinks about it, and he's always happy posting photos about it on Twitter. Yeah.
And so
then the 0-0 after the Usma draw here, we welcome Yanga here and the 4-0 in Kasarani.
Yeah, I mean, everything. We had a belief that we could always score goals. We could always score goals, and we had a back four. When we had the solid back four with not many changes, and we had good players to come in as well who couldn't get in. We knew that we would win games. We would win games, and I never had any dealings with transfers, and nobody. I couldn't say, "Oh, can we bring this player in? Can we bring that player?" That was done by the club. So we got players in, weren't good enough, but I had to deal with them. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, and that day it worked. And I was pleased for them.
Talking of good players and some not very good players. The guy who delivered for you on that day, the 4-0 against Yanga, was who? Remember him?
I know.
Ephraim Guikan.
Ephraim.
You had battered, you and your friend Bobby Williamson had battered him the whole season. You need to get rid of him. Then comes Yanga and he delivers.
To be fair, when you when you've got Mehdi and you've got Jacques Tuisenge, you know, it's very difficult to break that partnership up. And Ephraim didn't do himself any favours when he came to the club. You know, he joined us, and I think he got a league medal when we got the championship in Kisumu because he kicked that day. I think he's still got a league medal. Never kicked a ball. You know, and I knew it was going to be a problem when we got back to the hotel again through the governor in Machakos. I mean, we stayed at the best hotel ever.
In Kisumu. Night. You mean Kisumu?
In Kisumu, just outside of Kisumu. I think we went up some dirt.
I think it's called Royal City Hotel. Something.
Beautiful. So Ephraim's joined in. It was great. It was great. It signed, so it was great that he joined in. But then I'm sat in there. I come down from my room and I go to get myself a beer. And Ephraim sat there with 3 big bottles of Guinness, and I'm like, right, yeah, and you know, you don't expect that. You've come, yeah. If you're gonna drink, I haven't a problem with that, but don't do it in front of all the staff. Don't do it at the hotel. When you know,
Coach, how would you communicate? He was pure francophone, a boy just from the villages of Ivory Coast. He doesn't speak English. You know, apart from bonjour, I don't know any other French you know how to say.
No. When Guinness, no, and he got this big smile, and I knew from then, you know, that, you know, I would have to work differently with him again because of Mehdi and because of Jacques. You know, they were just different class, and he just couldn't get into the team. But you know, you don't fall out with players.
Who was his best friend at the club?
I don't think he had any. You know, when you pick your 5-a-side teams, you know that players like you when you're the first pick. You know, when the players don't like you is when you pick last. You know, and then every 5-a-side tournament that we played in training, you know, and even the team who had it, he was the last player, so the team that needed him, they would go, he didn't fit into the mold, you know.
But then come to Yanga in Nairobi, and Jacques Tuisenge gives us a goal, I think, in the 22nd minute, and then boom, Ephraim Guikan, he has a rocket of a left foot. Then I think Yanga's considered an own goal, and then Ephraim Guikan gives us another goal in the dying minutes of the second half. 4-0. And the Daily Nation had a nice photo of you and Ephraim Guikan hugging, and I was like, wow.
I was delighted. I actually thought that might change his mentality. I actually thought that might have been, you know, the start of, you know, a change of his, you know, oh, I like this. I like being here. I want to be part of this. Remember when he made his debut? Remember he came on as a substitute in Machakos, and his first touch, he whacked it in the top corner with his first.
Yeah.
And that's what he was good at, you know. But it came to a point. I would try and keep him focused. I wanted a bit more out of him. And I remember, and I hated playing Mathari. I hated playing on that field. It's the worst field ever. Is it Mathari?
Where, in Machakos?
No, is it Mathari?
Thika.
Yeah, Thika. We played a game at Thika, and I actually because of his work ethic and his attitude, I actually put Jockey Malouch up front, a striker.
Jockey Malouch, a defender up front.
Yeah, I put him up front and left Ephraim on the bench, but you know, I knew I'd get something from Joachim that I knew I wouldn't get from Ephraim. You know, and I know later he's put on social media that, you know, what he'd already agreed to leave, and when I'd left, he was going to come back. You know, it was just unfortunate. It got two big strikers.
That's funny. So you're playing in Thika. You have only one striker who is Ephraim Guikan, and instead of putting him on the pitch, you put a defender, Joachim Malouch, and we lost the game 1-0, I think. Or 1-0, 2-2, 1-0.
No, we lost. I mean, I've never won at Thika. I mean, I hate that pitch. You know, I said to the referee before that game, there's too many holes on field. There's too many holes on his field, and it's going to cost an injury. And that's when
that's where what's the name? Karim. That's where Karim got injured.
It killed his career. It ruined his career. It ruined his career.
So let's talk about Yanga away in Dar. 3-2. We beat Yanga 3-2 in Jerusalem. And at this point, we were top of the table, and we knew here comes the quarterfinals.
Yeah, and then we play Rayon, and Wallace-Simbi does a runner again. You know, I love Wallace-Simbi. I still do love him, you know, but he cost me a chance to qualify for CAF Champions League in Esperance.
And it cost us a chance also against Rayon here.
Against Rayon, and you know, and to be fair, I felt really what's his name? Who played left back in Esperance?
Who? Onguso?
Yeah, Wesley. I felt really bad because Wesley had 3 bad games, you know, leading up to that game.
Let me remind you, it is the game against Rayon in Nairobi when we lost 2-1. That's the day you switched. You played Philemon on the left and Wellington Ochieng on the right.
Wesley wasn't having the best game. He had 3 poor games. And Philemon, I could play Philemon anywhere, and Philemon's a dream.
Your most trusted player was Philemon, I can tell.
And you know, Wellington was just coming back, and he was fresh, and he was hungry, and I decided that we'll stay with the back 4, and I'll just switch him to full back, and I'll play Wellington on that side, and it cost me. I made that choice, and it cost us. It cost us. I mean,
it can have cost you more than the weekend. We were playing the derby. After the derby, we were going away to Usman. So what did you do in the derby? Because you think you had hopes of still advancing. So you rested your top players for the derby and rested them for Usman game. And what did I tell you at 6 a.m. in the morning?
Oh, by the way, you weren't happy. You weren't happy that day. Oh, you're not taking this game serious. Oh, you know, you'll get hammered by the Gor Mahia fans. That's why I blocked you the 3rd time. You know, you can't do that. You actually were very angry that day. I
was mad.
You were raging that day. I remember. Oh God, and that's when I fell out with you again. You know, you can't do that. You're taking liberties. This is Gor Mahia. But you don't realise this Messi Maggi derby is the best thing, and you cannot lose. If you lose this, you're finished. You and my friendship's over. That's what you said to me.
and to be honest, because entire week I was looking, the FC Leopards fans were hammering us on Twitter, on Facebook, on all social media platforms, that the way we lost 2-1 to Rayon midweek, and we were going to meet them over the weekend, are going to walk on us. And I was like, no way, you cannot walk. This is 2018. The last time they beat us was first leg of 2016. So there's no way this Muzungu coach would be coming here to rest our top players so that we can be hammered by FC Leopards. I was mad.
Oh, you were, and like I said, but that's the thing. I trusted those players. You know, they're playing in the derby, so you know.
No, but in a way, you also panicked. You also panicked after our talk, didn't you?
No, did I? I thought, oh my God, he's gonna panic.
I remember Zico called me just, I think, an hour before the game. He asked me, Tom, what did you tell the coach? I said, what do you mean? He's come here. He's raging so mad. He wants to win this game by any means.
well, what happened? Remember that coach of that other team. You know, I mean, he was happy on how good he was, and he was the best coach ever.
Was that Stuart Hall?
No, it was that one with the big black long hair.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember him. I keep forgetting. It's not a name I should remember anyway.
And I've got a lot of respect for him. But that week before, he was sending me messages. Oh, we're going to hammer you, and I'm the best coach. I'm the best coach. And we're going to play a brand of football, and I just thought, right, okay. And when I made my decision, right, I'm going to put my third team in. I'm going to let them go win it.
But coach, this is why I say you panicked, because I remember just before the game, the warm up before the game, I remember seeing the likes of Humphrey Mieno, Ernest Wendo, the top dogs, also warming up the other side. So you might have recalled them to come warm up or something.
No, they were in the squad. It just they needed to rest. We had a trip to Osma, so we had to make sure that I had the main players, because it was going to be tough. It was tough in Algiers. And I'll be honest, when we scored that first goal, then when we scored the second goal, and then when the fans
Banadic scored the first goal, then Boniface Omondi, the short one, scored the second goal.
And then the fans decided to rip the stadium apart. I went to the fans and do that, and Jalawi's grabbed on him and he's like, "Come on, they're going to kill you." I'm like,
And I've never seen you celebrate a win more than that day. And you were all over looking for where I was on the stands, telling me, "I did it."
I was going to give you that. I was like that. Yeah, I was just going to do that. Sorry, I didn't mean that. I would never do that.
No, it was brilliant. I loved it. I just said after the game, "Oh my God, where am I going to meet Dylan after this?"
Oh, by the way, it was. I said
not to say that I wanted us to lose, but I mean, I'd rather lose with the top players than lose with the weak team. You get my point?
But we didn't have a weak team. That's my point. And then don't forget, we won the league, beating them.
Yeah. I remember that.
Which was a double ball.
We did a double on them. Yes. No, we beat them 2-1 in the first leg, then 2-0 second leg.
Yep.
Brilliant. That was smart. I think we can talk forever. Let's just bring this to a wrap. Let me ask you a question. What was your most memorable game in your time in Kenya?
God, that's a tricky one. If I say all of them, that's cheating.
I know.
I think for in a league game, I think winning the league in Kericho, because
again, and the image of you standing on the bars with the flag.
The conditions were horrendous, but we won the game, and I think giving Esperance the scariest moment of their football year,
in Machakos.
And in Machakos and in Tunis, because they didn't give us any problems. They had one shot and scored one goal, and I think from a football perspective of yes, Everton, Hull City, Everton. We'll talk about again. Obviously, we'll talk about Usma and another time. But yeah, I mean, going to Goodison Park. We're going to do this again, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So. But I think winning that league title, my first league title, and there's a picture of me on my knees, Sandro's punching the air, Zico's got his arms in the air, and and again, I love Sandro. I love Sandro's energy, and
Onyango Sandro's, yeah.
But the beauty of Gor Mahia was the people, the Kenyan people. Even our rivals, they embraced me as much as Gor Mahia fans. And even though they didn't like me, they embraced me as much. And going to Kisumu, I could walk down the streets. From our hotel into town, it used to be a 20-minute walk, brisk walk. Yeah. It used to take me 2 hours to get there, and it used to take me 2 hours to get back. Because I just used to take photos, I'd selfies, and I'd talk to people, and
that's what I mean by when I say the warmth you brought over here is totally different. I mean, the kind of connection you had with not just the players but with the fans, to me, speaks a lot, and to many Gor Mahia fans who would agree with me, it speaks a lot about the kind of camaraderie, the kind of brotherhood that you brought here. And for that, people on the streets of Nairobi miss you a lot. But then let me not get there. Talk to me about one specific player I would always want to ask you about. Not Ephraim Guikan this time. Innocent Wafula.
Oh, Wafula was a mystery. Was he Kenyan, Rwandan, Somali, Sudanese? Was he Zimbabwe? We didn't know what nationality you were. You know, if you want anybody to be in a war, in a battle, you want Wafula on your front line, because you don't know who he'd kill. He'd either kill you or kill the opposition. And he just, again, we missed him in the CAF competitions because he didn't have a passport. He didn't have a
passport. What nationality was he then? No passport.
We don't know. I still to this day don't know. I mean, but it was funny. It was. We had funny people. I mean, Tom, we'll talk about it next time. But the problems I had outside the football field were just unspeakable. You would never ever imagine a Malungu or Mazungu to actually go through this. I mean, a lot of coaches couldn't do what I did. They couldn't do what I did because the second in 2018 when we'd won the league with six games to go, we had to go to I can't remember. We had to travel somewhere 3 hours from Kisumu.
Is that Mumias?
We had to travel to Mumias, and the day before, the players had not got paid the salaries, so they refused to come. And me and Jalawi, we went around everywhere, and we were on the phones. Right, you've got to come. You've got to come. You've got to go. I don't give a crap what's happening. You've just got to come and play this game. If you don't play this game, we're going to lose the league. The KPL will take the league off us. Even though we've won the league, they'll take it off us. And we grabbed a squad. We grabbed 15 players and went to Mumias, and we lost the game. And I'm not surprised we lost the game because players had not been paid for like 4 weeks. And the players were getting locked out the houses, but we did it. Me and Jalawi, we did it. And again, that's something else that has bring back memories. But and I'm not just saying that because I'm not just saying this because we're talking now, Tom. But
I think that's the game. That's the game against Nzoia in Mumias. Yes. Yeah, we lost 2-0.
Collectively, though. The people, Sport Pacer, the fans, the Kenyans, the Luas, the Luos, all the people that I had the pleasure, the privilege of meeting and knowing on social media. You can't. My book I'm going to write there's going to be one book just on my experience in Kenya.
Do I have a page on that book or a chapter or the entire book?
The chapter will be chapter 19, Tom Bwana, and then you turn the page over.
you can't even be that far. Put me at chapter 2 or chapter 3.
It'll be chapter 2, Tom Bwana, locked.
But hang on, Coach. You nearly had a fist fight with Innocent Wafula.
When?
At the bus in the center of the town. You had just come from, was it Machakos from a game? And then Wafula comes off the bus. I don't know what happened.
No, I don't think it was, no, it was Sandro. Sandro wanted to kill him. Sandro wanted to kill all of them. Sandro's got a fiery temperature. Onyango's got a fiery temperature. And he went ballistic. He went ballistic. Yeah. Somebody into him jokingly, and he didn't understand. And he just went, and he wanted to kill everybody on that bus. It was like the Tasmanian devil. He just wanted to kill everybody.
Yeah. I was enjoying when you were in Liverpool with all that cold in Liverpool. So my next door neighbor at the hotel was always Wellington Ochieng, and he was giving me all these funny stories. And I was laughing. I was on the floor laughing about Innocent Wafula. He says Innocent Wafula was Gor Mahia's Mario Balotelli or sorts.
It was, like I say, he said Innocent Wafula run through that brick wall. He'd run through it there and he'd run through it back. and he missed the trip to Everton. He missed the trip to Everton because he didn't.
I mean, all the trips, he missed all trips because he didn't have a passport.
He didn't have a passport. You know, his mums, dads, sisters, brothers, youngsters, boyfriend, auntie, grandma, granddad. We didn't know what religion he was, what birth. We didn't even know if he was truly 28. You know, he could have been 50. No. He looked older. He looked older than me sometimes in training.
Be careful. He's won the league in Kenya. He's won the league in Uganda. He's back in Uganda. His hometown.
Brilliant, because there's not many people I know that know Wafula in Kenya, so in Uganda. But I will find out now, and I'll try and get in touch with him.
Let me ask you two questions. I want to ask you how well you know a guy called Dylan Kerr. So your first league match in Kenya was against Nakumatt. We won 2-0. Tell me who scored the 2 goals.
Well, it's got to be Jax or Mehdi.
None of them.
Was it not? Oh, wow.
The first player who scored for you a goal in Kenya in a league match.
Trying to think who we played. So it either be Maguna or Wee Bonnie or can't be Shakava. Not be Shaka.
I'll help you there. I'll help you. It's Jojo Diambo Blackberry.
Oh, what's happened to Blackberry?
Yeah, he scored for you 1 goal, then the other one was an own goal. So 2-0 against Nakumatt.
What's happened to Blackberry?
He plays for Tusker now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, he plays for Tusker. I mean, he's had a very long career in football because this is 2020. He started playing in 2009. The golden age of Gor Mahia, when we getting this kind of revival for the club. He was one of the youngsters who were coming up. So today he is still playing. I think that's props to him. Another question. Which of your players did you play the most? Which player did you play the most?
It'll have to be, it's got to be Shakava.
Shakava, you got it. Yeah, 56 of your 76 matches.
It's got to be Shakava. The two biggest disappointments from players that I had was Mehdi Kerr leaving to go to Simba when he told me he wasn't leaving, he wasn't going. I spoke to him, he says, no coach, I'm not going anywhere. The next day he was on a flight to Tanzania. And the same with Waza, with Wallace Simbi. I said to him, let's qualify for confederations and then you can go. You've got my blessing, but you've got to stay for confederations. He says, coach, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go. I'm staying. And then the next I get social media that Wallace Simbi's arrived in OR Tambo Airport. Kaiser Chiefs. And signed for Kaiser Chiefs. And, what a great move for him. Personally, I wouldn't have stood in his way. I don't know if they've even been paid by Kaiser Chiefs yet, but yes, the selection of the team that's down to me. But him leaving had put me in that horrible position because, as I said, Onyango, Wesley wasn't really having the best of times, and they were tricky down the right hand side. I know they were tricky down the right hand side. And the first goal came down the left hand side. Even the winning goal that they scored. Me and Zico stood on the line shouting to Shikava, and Shikava actually had done very, very well for me when he came in, and we were shouting, Shikava, you're too far across, and then he hit it in the top corner. But the noise in the stadium, there's no way you can get a message to him. So that's something that I'm not proud of, losing that game to Rayon. Again, they had 2 shots and scored 2 goals. One with 3 kicks.
So another question. Who was your most substituted player? Which player did you substitute the most?
Yeah, you got some good questions. Well, it won't be Shakava, it won't be Wendo, it'll not be Waza, it'll not be Kareem. Is it Little Bonnie?
Can I surprise you? It's Wendo.
Is it Wendo?
Yeah, yeah. 15 times.
I love window. I love.
Yeah. So brilliant. Coach, I think we're going to we can talk forever. But the final question, Coach. I mean, what do you miss most about Nairobi nightlife?
I went out. I never went out.
You never went out.
Tuscaloosa.
That's Camaridi.
I found the most amazing places that no white person would ever go. No white person would ever be seen in the place. I was in bars in Toyoyo. I was in bars with Zico. I was in bars in town. I was in bars in Kileleshwa, in Yaya. I was in bars everywhere. But the best bars were the local bars. I didn't do the foreign. I never did the touristy places. I never went where all the tourists. I went to Jay's twice. I went to Jay's twice.
Jay's went to Space Lounge.
I went to Space. Yeah, but no, everybody knew our work, so I went. It was and I had one. Obviously, I had a bad incident when Everton staff came over because we went out and we all got into trouble and everybody's phones got stolen and.
Where was that? That Space Lounge, yeah, where there was a fight. Yeah, I remember that night, acting like you are a bodyguard, and there are all these girls lining up to kiss you. And I was like, what? Everybody line up first.
And then everybody's kept getting. We all got robbed. So, but a couple of the boxers.
I was not robbed.
A couple of the boxers. Was it the boxers who were there?
Yeah, the boxers, yeah. The boxers from Liverpool, yeah, they came and they all got robbed in Nairobi. I mean, you imagine you are a boxer, you're getting robbed in Nairobi. Yeah. Where can
and so I was really angry because my phone's, if I haven't got my phone, it's like losing my right hand.
But your BlackBerry, yeah?
Yeah, it's my BlackBerry. But no, like I say, I never went to any touristy place. I always used to go to where the locals were, and the day I went into Kibra, Kibera, is it? Where
Kibra.
Kibra. When I went there, I mean, there's so many bars that nobody knew this, by the way. I used to go into Kibra and drink with all the locals. No local paid beer. They would ask me to buy if I'd like a beer. I said no, I'll buy the beers. Because I used to go with one of the best players one of the best people that we've lost. It was Osewe, Patrick.
Yeah, your friend Osewe, man, so sad. After he had lost his wife, and I remember you saying how you're so sad, all your love to Osewe. Then a few months later, Osewe dies.
I didn't know. Nobody told me. I just found out. Bobby actually told me. No, Bobby didn't tell me. Somebody, I can't remember who told me. But when I found, it was Shakava. No, it wasn't. It was Shaban that told me. And I was really. I haven't cried over my mum yet. I haven't cried over my mum's death, but I cried when I heard Patrick had died because I didn't know, and he didn't have WhatsApp. He didn't have a fancy phone, so he could never keep in touch with him. But if he was with Wesley or Shaban, he would call me on their phones. And then when I found out he passed away, I mean that was heartbreaking.
He was a lovely bus driver. He used to drive the players everywhere and always with a smile. I remember him. He took the players when we went to the players to Liverpool. He dropped the players at the airport, and he patted my back and told me, "No, Tom, the players look lovely." He wasn't wearing fancy clothes, but he told me, "You know what? I love it when the players look this lovely." When we came back early morning, the flight landed in the morning at around 5 in the morning. Osewe was there with the bus ready to pick the boys. He was such a lovely guy.
Oh, it was brilliant. I mean, we went to the Roadhouse Grill lots of times, and he couldn't have 1, 2, 3 drinks. He would have 6, 7, 8, 9, and then he would walk to Kibra. He would walk back home. Because I wouldn't drive. And he. And I'd say, look, there's your taxi money. Get a motor. And he went, no, I'll walk. And he would walk absolutely hammered. But we used to have such a laugh. It was just a pleasure.
And then he was so madly in love with his wife. I mean, I think probably when his wife died, that made him so lonely and so more or less like, I mean, I'm not speaking for him, but he had such a big loss when his wife died. Probably led to his death as well.
Yeah, I say it's. I mean, he's got a young daughter. You know, I'm hoping she's okay because both mum and father have passed away. But yeah. I mean, you know, the good times outweigh the bad times, but you know, the sad times, you know, it's unfortunate. Like when that supporter got killed on the road to Machakos when he was going to support Gor Mahia. You know, and then I'm stood on the top of the bus, and the bus wasn't moving, but you know, I got into trouble for it because it had only been a couple of weeks since them supporters had died for being on top of the bus. So although I was celebrating a championship, you know, I didn't think at the time, and you know, and our bus wasn't moving, but you know, the family.
Coach, one of the saddest moments also in that year 2018 was when you left us. Coach, why did you leave us?
Well, I'd actually got that summer before the season started. I actually got offered a contract at Polokwane City, and I'd actually agreed to go to Polokwane, and I'd spoken to the chairman, and then I said to him, "Look, let me respect my chairman, Ambrose." I said, "Let me speak to him and pass it with him." And Ambrose said, "No, you're not going. I don't want you to go." So I phoned Polokwane and I said, "I'm not coming. I'm sorry." I said, "Look, I know we'd agreed everything, but you know, I want to honour, you know, my chairman, because remember I didn't have a contract at Gor Mahia."
Yeah.
So, but I respected my chairman, and then when I had no intention of leaving Gor Mahia. Don't get me wrong, I had no intention. There was no pre-contract. There was no arrangement. I just got a phone call when I was back home, asking me if I'd come to Black Leopards. And again, I said, "Look, I'm going to phone my chairman, and if my chairman gives the blessing." I didn't say to the chairman, "Listen, I've got an offer. I want to go." I said, "Chairman, I've been offered by a contract in South Africa from Black Leopards. I would like to go. I would like your blessing and your permission." And he said, "Coach, you've got my blessing. You've got my permission." And that was it. You know, I've always wanted to return to South Africa. It was hard. It was a hard decision. It was a tough decision because I love my time in Nairobi. I just kind of found, you know, a home, you know, because I've travelled all over the world over the last 10 years. And I just found I'd found a home. So to leave, it just seemed that like the right time. And you know, I always mention the chairman whenever I'm talking about football. You know, and it's always good to have a good chairman. It's always good to have a good chairman.
Brilliant. And of course, that's quite understandable, because I remember you had always been telling me you're leaving, but I didn't believe you because you had always been leaving since you arrived here. So I was like, what's new there? I remember when we were walking on the streets of Liverpool that night, I don't know where Liverpool, everyone has a karaoke. Every bar is a karaoke. Yeah. So we're walking from there, and you are telling me, "You know what, Tom? I'm leaving the club." I'm like, I didn't take you serious, by the way.
I say what you do. There's factors that, you know, I can't that involve people that I can't mention, but you know, there's factors. There's so many factors as I've seen recently in the voting for the officials of Gor Mahia. You know, I'm not proud to see it, but I saw Sally in a skirmish with other members. It's not nice to see, but you know, people that have got their own interests at heart and not the football clubs at heart, and are basically lying to you, saying one thing to you and then going behind your back and saying a different thing. And I just thought the time was right before, you know, I'd actually hit somebody. You know, because you know, when somebody's trying to, when not all clubs are perfect, but you know what we had, we had a family, but the people that were trying to spoil that family
were the people that were doing it for their own interest, their own individual needs, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
I think now there's hope now that they've sort of streamlined the administration now only for elected officials. So I think there's hope that things are going to get better. And also they have a new sponsor now, so things are a bit better than they were when the previous sponsor left. So things are looking all right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, look, I mean, I read goal.com in Kenya every day, you know, see what's happening. I've, you know, it's, a club in America have recently phoned me up and asked me about Kenneth Maguna. Would he do a job in America? And I said, yeah, I think Kenneth would do a job in America, not a problem. You know, I've got no ill will to Kenneth and Musa when they both left. That was their decision. They were out of contract. Same as Medi Kagera, who was out of contract. But you know, I warned them both not to go because they, you know, they were going on a lie. You know, and
to FK Tirana in Albania.
Yeah, and you know, it's things like that you know, people don't listen to you, they don't trust you, they trust other people, and again, it's for their own selfish means. It's not to look after the player. And
I know, Coach. So many people. When I just posted this morning, I tweeted this morning that I'm going to speak with you, and there's so much kind of response. Like, please tell him to unblock me. Tell him to unblock. And now I understand that it was your mom who was blocking us on Twitter. Now that I understand that, I'm going to tell.
Blame my mom. I blame my mom. No, you know, I you know, you make mistakes. You know, you make mistakes in life, and you know yourself. You know that, but you don't need other people to tell you, and you don't need other people to be vociferous about it. You know, and you know they've got every right. They've got every right. I'm not. I will never. If somebody calls me the worst coach in the world, I'll not reply to them and say, "What you on about?" You know, that's their choice. You know, they can say that, they're allowed. You know, but when
I know, Coach. I mean, a guy like I know the kind of people who responded to my tweet. Calvin Okoth, another guy, saying, please tell him to unblock me. So just go to your to your block list and please release the prisoners, release them from prison, all of them.
I promise. Right, listen.
Brilliant. Jeff said Jeff is one of the brilliant journalists in Kenya. He'd like to host you one evening for a talk like this. Please respond to him.
Pleasure. I'll talk to anybody, me. You know me.
Brilliant. Jeff, I made your case. So lastly, Coach, could you please untangle yourself from here? So you are in this situation. There's a gun to your head. Somebody's holding a gun to your head. Okay. There is a paper for you to sign to coach AFC Leopards. Okay. And on the other side, there's a bottle of Konyagi waiting for you to drink. So pick one choice. Gun on your head, AFC Leopards sign, or a bottle of Konyagi.
If I drunk a bottle of cognac, I'd be dead anyway. And at least with a gun, I won't have to like throw up. that amateur team, I'd just like that.
I think we'll do this again next week. Thank you so much, Coach. We'll talk to you later. We love you, Coach. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
Bye-bye.